year 1347, a whisper arrived before the scream. Ships docked at the port of Messina, carrying goods, sailors, and something invisible. Something that would rewrite the map of Europe not with ink, but with death. Within weeks, bodies filled the streets. Within months, faith itself began to fracture. The Black Death had arrived and humanity would never again be the same. The plague did not march like an army, it drifted like air. From Italy to France, England to Germany, it traveled in the lungs of the living. Merchants carried it by trade routes, kings by war, and the poor by hunger. No wall, no border, no prayer could contain what the wind had chosen to share. It was a silent, unstoppable tide, creeping into every corner of the continent, proving that civilizations are only as strong as the air their people breathe. It began with a fever, then a swelling the buboes, black and swollen like ink beneath the skin. The pain was so sharp it silenced screams. In the midst of this terror, doctors in strange, beaked masks stuffed herbs into their noses, hoping the scent could block out death itself. Some believed it was divine punishment for a wicked world. Others thought the very air had been poisoned by sin, but no one truly understood the enemy they were facing. Church bells rang so often, people began to count time by funerals instead of hours. Priests died faster than they could bless the dead, leaving the faithful to face eternity alone. In the great cities of Florence, London, and Paris, law and order simply disappeared. Families abandoned their own blood out of fear. Neighbors sealed their doors, turning homes into tombs. The plague stripped away the thin veneer of civilization, leaving only raw, desperate instinct behind. Over 25 million lives, 1/3 of Europe vanished in less than 5 years. Entire villages turned into ghost towns, their homes standing silent and empty. Kingdoms lost their kings and heirs, leaving power vacuums that sparked chaos. Fields went wild as crops rotted unharvested, and time itself seemed to decay alongside the bodies. The scale of the loss was unimaginable, and yet, among the ruins, something new, something resilient, began to take root. When the wave of death finally receded, a profound silence remained. But in that silence, a revolution was stirring. Labor was suddenly scarce, and for the first time in centuries, the common worker began to matter. Wages rose as lords scrambled to find hands to till their fields. The rigid feudal bonds that had chained society for generations cracked under the pressure. The old order had died with the plague, and from its ashes, a new world began to take shape, a darker, more pragmatic renaissance, born not from art, but from sheer necessity. Centuries later, the truth finally emerged, revealed under the lens of a microscope. Yersinia pestis, a tiny bacterium carried by fleas on the backs of rats. It wasn't divine wrath or poisoned air, but a parasite, an indifferent force of nature. It took humanity hundreds of years to finally name its microscopic enemy. But naming it didn't erase the deep, collective memory. The fear of an invisible death, a threat you can't see or fight, never truly left us. The Black Death reshaped not just Europe's population, but its very soul. Art grew darker, obsessed with mortality. Faith became more questioning, as people grappled with a God who had seemingly abandoned them. Science, born from a desperate need for answers, grew more curious. Every cough, every fever, every sickness that followed, centuries later, carried a faint, terrifying whisper of 1347. It taught us a stark lesson. Progress often begins only where certainty dies. Letters discovered from that terrifying era speak of a silence filled with guilt and sorrow. We find parents writing to children they had to abandon to the sickness. We read the last words of lovers, confessing their feelings in ink just before their last breath. The plague didn't just kill, but it shattered the illusion of permanence, the comforting belief that tomorrow is guaranteed. It made every single heartbeat sound like borrowed time, a precious, fleeting gift. The Black Death was the darkest mirror humanity has ever been forced to look into. It revealed how fragile our societies are, how selfish we can be when faced with terror, and yet how incredibly adaptable we are. From that unimaginable darkness came a strange kind of light, the dawn of modern medicine, social reform, and a cultural rebirth. History doesn't just warn us to fear death. It teaches us to respect the living and to value every moment we have. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of history's darkest chapters. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world. We'll see you next time.